Welcome to the number one friendship podcast in the country. I'm Matt Ritter.
I'm Aaron Cairo.
Happy New Year, Cairo.
Happy New Year, buddy.
How you feeling?
I feel great.
I feel great. It's been a great year. I want to go on a little bit of a rant about passports.
Oh,
You know that I almost tanked my entire baby moon because the night before, I waited until the night before our baby moon to Miami and Anguilla to take a look at the old passport, and it was expired. And so we sent the wifey off to Miami without me, while I went to the ninth gate of hell known as the passport office. Can I just say, of all of the technology and all the advances we've made in the world, why is there no alert notification, some sort of system, 5 alarm, like your house alarm should go off? It should be connected to your home alarm system, and it should just go off in the middle of the night, a week before your passport expires. I mean, somebody should come to your house. Somebody from the government should come to your house and knock on your door or throw something at your house to let you break a window to let you know you've reached a level of alarm that you need to go get a new passport so you don't ruin your entire relationship. Because that that emergency line was filled with the dregs of mistake makers like old Matty Boy. So the decision makers, the piss poor decision makers of the world, the last minuters, the 250,000 unread emailers, the people whose calendar is just filled with scribbles.
I mean, when you told me that you couldn't go on your baby moon because your passport was expired, so much. First of all, I mean, it's just, first of all, I was enraged, just like third-hand enragement. Like, it doesn't even, like, have you not looked at your passport in the past few years?
I did. I knew it was coming. But that everybody in the line, we talked about this in the line, all the dregs. We all talked about it. We're like, yeah, I looked at it 6 months ago. Yeah, I knew this was coming.
But okay, when you looked at it, but you made no effort to do anything about it.
No, I said to myself, oh man, I better do something about this. I did say to myself, better do something about this.
I mean, I look at my passport once a week, just even when I'm not traveling, just to double check.
And Jessie had re-upped hers this year. My wife had re-upped hers.
And she didn't think to tell you too?
There was a little bit of a debate of like, isn't this a little bit of her job? Head of the household? Married to a man who's not on top of all this stuff.
What was her? Obviously, she was mad, but was it like yelling, or was it more just like
she wasn't. Actually, she wasn't mad. Thankfully, I'm married to a very forgiving woman. She was like, "All right, well, I'm going to Miami."
She's more like you have made your bed.
Yeah. She's very much like you're a big boy. You'll figure it out. Right. When I was like, isn't this kind of maybe on you? She's like, I wouldn't go there if I were you. And then I immediately retracted. I was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. That's absurd. Yeah. That's totally absurd.
I mean, it's just like the difference between, we were talking about this the other day. We've been friends since second grade. We, in some respects, we're very similar. I could live 1,000 lives and I wouldn't come within 3 years of my passport expiring.
I was just thinking about how there's nobody resembling Cairo in this line. But that's why, hey, as much as I'll give you credit, that's why I can relate to the everyman more than you. That was America. That was America.
Yeah. Everyman. We know who those. We know who they voted for in that line.
That wasn't the coastal elites on that line.
Oh God!
Although we are in LA, so it was the coastal elites.
What's the fee for a rush?
$190 and change. But here's what's messed up. So you get up at 6. You get there. I got there. I was so early. Like the line doesn't even open till it's freezing. You're outside for 2 hours. You get your number, and then you come back at 1. And it could be any time from 1 to 3. The passport office closes. Hard stop 3 p.m.
Yeah.
So I go up to the booth. They're like, "You're not ready. Wait inside." So half the people just get their passports between 1 and 2:30, whatever. And then there just comes a mounting pile of people sitting. And it's 2:50. And now I'm panicking because I haven't booked my flight yet. I have to take a red eye to Miami to catch the connecting flight to Anguilla. I'm like, tick, 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 tick. At 2:58, they start releasing them like mad rush. So they just like, they have them all. I think they just do it just to mess with everybody. They got everybody out of there.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I got mine at 2:59.
Well,
do you not agree there needs to be some sort of alert system for passport renewals? That was my rant. That was the purpose of the rant.
Yeah, I mean, you see that it's expiring, you put it in your calendar, and then it alerts you. Actually, Matt, do you know when your passport expires? Should I put it in my calendar now?
It's got to be 10 years from when I just renewed it.
All right, I'm gonna put it in my calendar,
which was December, whatever it was.
All right,
December 2035.
Okay, I'm putting it in my calendar.
By the way, you know this is gonna come up. Oh, this is the best part. So I said to Jesse, I go, Jesse, I love you. I'm sorry. I'm like, I make mistakes. I'm gonna keep making mistakes. That's who I am. But I'm not gonna make this particular mistake for another 9.5 years at least.
Oh God, being married to you sounds like a fucking nightmare. Absolute nightmare. All right, let's talk New Year's resolutions, or if you recall what we called them last year, Matt, New Year's Res-BRO-lutions. And I've actually been excited for this because I want to hear how your resolutions last year went. I know how mine went. So let's do, we'll go back and forth. We'll give each other a little grade, and then we'll do our resolutions for next year.
Right. So you want to start with the friendship ones?
Yes.
So we each, by the way, I want to talk about, just for our audience, I want to note, we did friendship resolutions, and I hope you did too. But if you didn't, we're going to do resolutions for this year. And we want you guys, when you do your resolutions, just add a friendship-based resolution. Please, please, please. If you're listening to this pod, that means you care and you believe you can improve your friendships. A friendship resolution. Got to be in there. So mine was be a sort of more locked in on my community and build out from my community. Remember we talked about, I have a PCE, pillar of the community energy.
Oh, I remember.
So I do believe I did really well. We've formed bonds with a few of the parent friends that I really like in the neighborhood. We get together every Sunday, and one of my buddies even made hats. Did you see the hats?
I still haven't seen them. You told me about them.
Oh yeah, the Dilfs of Larchmont.
You're really proud of yourself about these.
Yeah, things. I'm not sure if it's like people are giving us looks if like they like it, or if it's crude to have that.
Do you wear them? Because you're not a hat guy.
No, we just wear them on the Sundays when we get together.
Okay, so you're all wearing them together.
Yeah, it's fun. It's cute.
Didn't you? I don't know if this was 2024, but didn't you also like get a speed bump put in?
I did get a speed bump put in.
Yes,
that's big. That's big pillar energy.
Yeah.
And now I noticed that people speed through the speed bumps. It's super annoying.
Okay.
They're too low.
Too low.
What are the odds that I could get the city to come back again and raise the level of the speed bumps? No.
Well, do you remember I told you recently we were together that in my grocery store parking lot, they got rid of the speed bump, and now it's just an
optical ones, right? Psychological, yeah.
And it works just as well. Not for you.
They figured it out. But what people down my block did, instead they put those like cones in the middle lane, because people speed up through the middle lane. So I want them to put those two like orange pillars. Actually, I think they're called pillars.
So what grade would you give your resolution?
I give me a B. I still have room for improvement to grow that, but it's my first year of doing it. It's a long-term friendship community growth thing that I'm doing, and I don't plan on, I said last year, I don't plan on moving. So I give myself a B. I think there's definitely a lot more room to grow. Now, how about you?
So my friendship resolution was to honor the inner circle. I felt that I was spreading myself a little too thin. I wasn't really spending quality time with like my very, very close friends. And I think I sort of get an incomplete there, which is that I did sort of tighten the circle a little bit, and that I refrained necessarily. And obviously we still want to make new friends and see people who aren't necessarily your close, but like I refrain a little bit from doing things that are a little sort of I don't know how you want to call it on the riffraff. But I did still struggle to see some of the inner circle as much as I would like.
Okay.
I think
Why?
that's just it's just you know, we're always talking about how busy we are, which is kind of like a fake thing, but like
It's a cop
it was
out.
a busy year and traveled a lot.
It's
So like
prioritizing. You know?
yeah, it's every life is one big list of
Yeah.
priorities. Should I get my passport renewed? Should I stand outside in the cold? And so I am gonna give myself a B minus. I think the intent was there.
Okay.
And I, you know, I think I just need to prioritize a little bit better.
The good thing is again, that is one that isn't 1 year, one and done. That's a long-term commitment.
Yes, and I was going to talk about that for next year, how I'm rolling it over, but we'll talk about that.
Okay, we'll get into that. Okay, so my second resolution last year was to be more spontaneous. I used to be super spontaneous, do a lot of fun, you know, crazy stuff all the time. And now building a family, it's not quite as easy to do. So we're trying to I'm still trying to, I was trying to maintain that fun. I would say I didn't really do much on that front, to be honest. It's hard. Like you said, it's priorities. Well, my energy level wasn't there. My wife actually was the one to help spur that on for next year. Maybe we instituted a date night once a week towards the end of the year. So I think even though that's, you know, not quote unquote spontaneous, it does give us like the opportunity to go and do all kinds of stuff for ourselves. So I would say that one is probably a C/incomplete, but towards the end of the year, because she instituted that, I feel that going forward, that one's going to be good. We're also toying with the idea of a European maternity leave this time around for Tessie. So I think that could be kind of the thing that I'm looking for of like, life is short. Let's just enjoy it and do fun, interesting things with it. So I think that would check it in a major way this next year. How about you?
What's funny is that this was the most spontaneous year I've ever had.
Yeah, you really did it.
You know, I took off to Vancouver for Taylor Swift. I took that trip to New York City with like 3 days notice.
That was a big one. That was a big one. These were both like quote unquote. Here's the thing about when you say out of character. I don't love saying out of character because I feel that's limiting. Again, you know me. I just want to give people the opportunity to change. You know, it's like and not have their identity be external focus. Like, oh, people say I'm this, or you know, so I am this, right? People say Cairo is very type A and very organized, and everything's on the calendar. And so, if you want to go do something, I don't know that it's fair to call it out of character.
I think it can be a limiting belief, but also be true sometimes at the same time.
Yeah.
So kind of breaking out of that mold a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're breaking your mold a little. It's good.
You know, listen, I'm just drafting off of you, my friend. But my personal development resolution was to be less reactive and more reflective. That was my big one. And I think I've made some progress there. No, you don't
No,
think so?
I want to hear you first, and then I will tell you my thoughts.
Ironically, this year I stopped meditating after 1,400 days in a row, and I stopped going to therapy. And I think that I'm much more aware of my reactions, and it's not perfect, but I feel like I made some progress. So I'm going to give myself a B minus again, and that there's some potential to build off of.
I would give you an A, just
What?
between us. In our relationship, I feel you have done a tremendous job. We talked about this on the pod last year. We used to have different sort of philosophies. Our whole, you know, Matt is crazy, Cairo's a realist, or Cairo's a cynic, and Matt manifests everything. I think we have a lot of, you know, just again, we talked about disagreements. We're building something together. So we have directions to take and options to choose from and things that I think are a good idea and maybe you don't, or vice versa. I will give you a lot of credit for you just not immediately rejecting my ideas out of hand and actually coming around to some of them, and not even causing any friction on some of them, just like removing friction. And
Yeah.
I give you a lot of credit. I feel really good about how you've implemented that vis-a-vis our working relationship.
Okay. All right. Great. Well, that's good to hear. I think it's a work in progress, and we'll talk about that for next year. But I think also making the resolution, because by the way, I think we're probably the only people in our friends or in the who actually are talking about their resolutions 1 year later. I mean, people just give up.
I think that's very true and kind of hilarious that these resolutions are never checked.
Yeah. I thought about our resolutions all year.
Right. But I think for the masses, like they just do it, they say it in January, and then they just say the whole new one, probably the same exact one the next
Right.
year, or forget that they said that one. So maybe there's something to be said for there's the making the resolutions, but you should also calendar the checking the resolutions as part of that.
What was your third one?
So my third one was an interesting one. I don't know if we're allowed to reveal this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So I said I want to, for my entertainment career, I came out here to do. I feel a multifaceted of writing, performing. That balance felt a little out of whack to me. I felt like I want to do something on camera. That's what I said. And can I tell people what we did?
Give them the high level.
Yeah, I'll give a
High
high
level.
level. Caro and I just shot a pilot for a reality show. We can't give all the details out, but we are the talent, the stars of the show. And, that's 2 years of daily grind and hustle and belief in ourselves. When, as I say, like nobody understood what we were doing. Nobody really, I don't think, really got it. Or, you know, I think people supported us, but I don't think they really could see what we could see with what we're building. And
Yeah.
so to be on camera, having an entire crew, having somebody finance something that is with us front and center, god damn, that felt good.
That's got to be an A+ on that resi.
It's got to be. I'll say just only because it's one thing, and I would like
Yeah.
to have more. I'll give it an A-.
Yeah. I think, hey, you got to follow your own advice. Take that win. Give yourself an
Yeah,
A.
yeah, it's a win of the A category. It's in the A
Yeah.
category.
In the A category. Yeah. That was, it's funny. Before we even talked about this episode, I was like, dude, wasn't this one of Matt's things? And,
Snuck it in December. Snuck it
snuck
in.
it in under the wire. So
But also,
I'm
I
very,
want to say, it's such an interesting town. We got such a tremendous crew and production team. Partly, I want to give us credit because people love what we're doing and they respect what we're doing. Also, sadly, partly because there's not a lot shooting. And so we got lucky that we got so much tremendous talent, cameramen, sound people, editors,
yeah.
etc.
On the flip side of your triumphant final resolution was my final resolution, which was to learn Hebrew.
Yeah.
Which
Duolingo. Manishma.
it went. I mean, Duolingo is a scam.
Oh, completely. But their stock has been skyrocketing. It's completely. Nobody has ever completed a Duolingo success story. I've never
I
seen one.
didn't even know it was a public company.
Yeah, they're crushing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I will say, I had started to try to learn, about a year and a half ago. I have some friends in Israel, and I did Duolingo for 275 days in a row. I paid for it. I
Oof.
really gave it my all, but it was just it's not. Now I realize when I'm looking at some of the other languages on the app, because it's such a small percentage of people speak Hebrew or learn Hebrew, it's not built out even with the rest of the Duolingo features.
Wow.
So on like Spanish or
Only
whatever,
Spanish and French have the main, have everything you're saying,
but if
like all the other
you
ones.
click any word in Spanish or French, the guy says the word. In Hebrew, they haven't recorded all the words, so you're just.
Oh my God.
So I tried, and then I was like, I'm interested what you think about this, Matt. Since I'm such a good, what's it called? What is clear habit builder?
Yeah.
I was like, A, this isn't working, and B, I'm actually actively disliking this. I'm like, I need to stop, but I couldn't stop because I'm like, this is my resolution.
Right. You
I
stuck
paid
with
for
it.
it. I stuck with it for 275 days, and I was like, you know what? I give up on this resolution. F.
It's not giving I look, that's being hard on yourself because first of all, I think cutting your losses is a very good skill to have.
Yeah.
And, when things are not working, you got to know when to call it, right? And just because we're good at things of like consistency, right? You're the king of consistency doesn't mean you should be consistently jumping off a cliff, right? If that's what you said you
Right.
did.
Yeah.
Duolingo's stock went up 45% this year.
This is a $15 billion company. What?
Yeah, this is what I'm telling you.
$15 billion?
The stock is $350 a share.
Is it just an app or do they have like a fucking store?
You know what? Because they're like the gym that everybody keeps coming back to.
Like the Planet Fitness of language
Yeah,
apps.
like everybody just keep. I'm thinking if we do the maternity in France, like I'm going to do Duolingo for 6 months and never learn French.
Yeah, I cannot. $15 billion. They have no costs.
I know. Well, they
Oh,
they haven't even hired the guy to speak Hebrew into the app.
Oh man.
Okay.
But,
Okay. So look, I think we both made our resolutions. We stuck to some of them. We didn't stick to others. That's pretty par for the course for resolutions as they are. So going forward, are we drum rolling 2025
yeah,
resolution?
2025 New Year's Res-BRO-lutions.
Okay, hit me with your friendship one.
So my first one is a bit of a. Do you remember? So in the Long Island Railroad, they would have the clean train campaign, and I was like,
Yep.
guys, don't put your feet in the seats. Clean,
Yep.
throw yourself in the garbage. And then everybody liked it, so it just is.
Yeah,
the campaign is perpetual. So I'm actually going to roll over two of my resolutions: honor the inner circle and be reflective, not reactive. I'm going to roll them over to 2025 because I think that I have more work to do on them, and I think they're good resolutions, and I want to keep going.
Okay. So you're just giving me your two right now, those two?
I have two more that are personal, but those are sort of more of my friendship ones.
Okay. So my friendship one is, I think I say this on the pod a lot, but I call it tripling down on my relationships that are serving me well.
Okay.
I feel like I've been doing that a little bit with some people and, not as well with others. Like the people that I really enjoy spending time with, I'm just going to make more time for them. And I'm going to do more things with them. I'm going to calendar more things with the people that I'm really vibing with right now. And so sort of like you're honoring your inner circle thing, but like even more extreme. That's why I'm saying tripling down, because a lot of people say double down on the thing. Like I'm tripling down. I know I'm going to have less time. I got another baby coming. So I think it's going to be a tight friendship circle, but I want to really do fun stuff with those people still. So
I'm writing this down as tripling down on the inner circle.
Tripling down. And my other one is sort of friendship related because I realized maybe my health. So I broke my foot this year, and it was brutal in the sense that I realized how important your health and mobility is. Now I'm a dad. I've got a kid crawling all over me. I can't ever have that happen again. So I think I want to try to find some sort of health accountability person, whether that's a workout partner or a tennis partner. I need to have somebody that I do some of my athletics with. So I have to figure that out.
Health accountability, health/fitness. I'm writing this down. Accountability partner. That's that person. You have to, because we've talked about accountability partners. They got to vibe with you, and they need to have the same goals.
Yep.
And same schedule.
Yep. So this doesn't have to be for all of it. If I could just get a tennis partner for some of it, or if I just have somebody that I, run with or whatever that is, I think that'll help because I'm generally physically fit, but I want to be a little more accountable and I do not want to get injured again. And part of that is just like, don't do anything dumb physically.
I'm telling you, listen, Shane the barber has been looking for a tennis partner. Yeah, he goes every day.
I'm healed. I know. I told him I'm going to play. I think we're going to play in the next couple weeks.
What's not ironic, is that my second resolution is also physical, and that I wrote down I need my next physical challenge. So I've ran the marathon the past 3 years. I've kind of done that. I've got my KFX workout regimen that I do every day, but I feel like I need a new mountain to climb.
Would you do
Uh,
Ironman?
I was thinking about a triathlon or a sprint triathlon.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. I don't really like to swim that much. Or even if it's just like a different type of class
Yeah.
or another activity or sport, I need another physical challenge.
Does it have to be, do you want it to be social? Like, is there a social component of
Don't
it?
care.
You don't care. You just need the physical challenge. I like
Exactly.
that. I
Exactly.
think men our age too, that really resonates.
I know. And I've had the same thing. I fucking golfer's elbow. I don't play golf.
I know we get these little dings and it's really super fresh. I think staying healthy, man, and you realize in your 40s, like you got to stay healthy because these little I know the little dings on the
Yeah.
elbow, then you
Yeah.
suddenly like a month and you still haven't healed it. Like, what is going on?
And because a little ding on the elbow means you can't do like half your workout.
I
It's the
know.
worst.
I know. Okay. I like that. Uh, what's the next?
So I have one more general one, but if you
Yeah.
want to go or
My next one is I I put this on the board for years now, and I'm really annoyed that it's still I have to make a movie in 2025.
okay, it's got to make a movie.
I absolutely have to. We're close, we're close on so many things, but it's like we had a studio go bankrupt. It's like you can name the litany of horrors in Hollywood that are outside of your control for why things, but I don't want to make any more excuses.
Is that does that go against our process versus outcome?
I'm gonna manifest this.
Okay. By the way, manifesting was born 1 year ago today.
Yeah, I'm gonna manifest this one in 2025. Mark it down. Come back to me in a year, and we got this.
By the way, I thought of an addendum to manifesting, and just for our newer listeners, Matt practices extreme manifesting, where he just pretends that things he want to happen have actually happened, even though they haven't. I call it manifestation. And I think
Born
that
out by the fact that we are now reality stars.
well, that's true. That's some of them we are, but I think we're having conversations now, Matt, of executing one of our major progress that you're manifesting. And I think the logistics are challenging. I call this when the Ritter meets the road.
That's pretty good.
It's like, okay, you've said X, but now we have to do Y.
Yeah. We have another big thing that I don't know if we can talk about yet, but the Ritter is meeting the road on this other giant project that we have.
So my last resolution is a bit amorphous, but I think you'll like it. And is that I want to take a big swing.
I love that.
And that could be personal. It could be professional. Like I want to do something. I'm like, Matt, I'm fucking doing X.
Yeah.
Right. And you're going to be like, wow, what? And I'm like, big swing.
You know who I love? Jesse Itzler, who does that every year. He does like one. Jesse Itzler, you don't know him?
No.
Okay, yeah, he's like one of these kind of like life influencer kind of guys. He was the guy who wrote the Go New York, Go jam when he was like 22.
Okay.
And then he like was involved in NetJets or something. I don't know. He's done really well in life, but he talks about how I think it's a Japanese term or something about how every year there's like a one big theme of the year, or one big thing that it's like, so it's like one memorable thing from that year.
Huh. Interesting. He
I love that.
He co-owns the Atlanta Hawks.
Could be.
Oh, he's married to the founder of Spanx. There you go.
Yeah, Sarah. I'm blanking on her last name.
Yeah, Sarah Blakely. Easy to have a big year when you married to a billionaire.
No, he was already very successful in his own right, though. But yeah,
from Long Island. But yeah, the big swing again. It could be, I don't know, move to somewhere for a month. I don't know what it is, but it's gonna be big.
I like it, but it's good. Now you're committing to it.
Yes, I'm committing to an amorphous thing, but
yeah, but it has to be big. So something big will happen.
Right. I think it's just mindset. Because if you think of which I'm not a big mindset guy, but it's like, oh, if do you remember something that you really excuse me?
I love how Cairo says he's not a big mindset guy, yet all of his successes are related to him really locking into a certain mindset.
Okay, I mean, I'll give you that. I think more.
You are the original Clear. We know this. You just don't like that. You're following this guy's lead, but you already had been doing it.
I think it's something I don't know how to articulate it, but remember I told you a couple months ago that I've been keeping a list this year of the most memorable moments and things that I did.
Yeah.
And by the way, like I might do an Instagram post. Like the list is 2024 was like pretty wild,
It's great.
from Sundance to Lollapalooza to Taylor Swift. And I think that just keeping this dumb list only for me in my personal calendar incentivizes me a little bit.
Right. You want that calendar to look, you want to look at it and go, oh, there's a list there.
Right. And that's why, because that considered mindset, if I say, hey, I want a big swing, it just makes me think, well, I better do it now.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, listen, I'm very excited to see what it could be.
Yeah. Even I don't know.
Could you just get married?
Maybe. I mean, should I just elope?
Yeah, you could.
I mean, it's a big swing.
Yeah, that's a very big one.
Do you have any more? That's all I got. Any more?
No, that's all I got. I don't want to over list,
Oh, we're going to over resolute ourselves.
Yeah, I don't want to over resolute.
Do you have any final thoughts? I mean, first of all, we just want to thank our listeners who we still don't have a name for.
Right. The Modi gang.
Modi crew, yeah. man of the year.
I do want to say just in general about if our listeners are listening and they're making their resolutions, I said make a friendship one.
Yeah.
I think it's good too just to have ones that are super achievable. So you feel like, when we're going back, you don't want to have Fs across the board.
Right. I got one F this year and that's fine.
Right. But you don't want to have Fs across the board. You want some that you can go, okay, if I just, do this, I'll be good. I'll get this one and little wins. Let's put some wins on the board.
I love that. And I think that, this is the time for introspection. It's New Year's Eve. When you think of 2025, you're usually when you think of the coming year, usually not thinking about friendship. You're thinking about work, your family, maybe your romantic relationships. Just give it a little thought. Oh, what can I do that would make my social fitness in 2025 better?
Yeah. I think us going to Europe, is going to be great for a lot of our friends who are going to come visit. It's going to be great. Like people are going to come.
Are you now saying that you going to Europe on your baby moon is going to be good for your friends?
Yeah, I think it's going to spur them to do something fun and spontaneous and go to Europe to visit us.
It's a very Matt centric way of thinking.
Yeah.
And on this New Year's Eve, hey, Matt, this has been a great year. So thank you for being a good friend and all your hard work.
Thank you too, man. I mean, I'll be asleep by 9. I won't see the ball drop.
Oh yeah. The ball. Yeah. Your balls dropped a long time ago.
Long time. I'm going to be watching the London version. Sleep by 6.
I love it. All right. Well, happy New Year. Happy New Year to our listeners. Thank you guys for listening this year. Thank you for supporting us. And make sure to go to Man of the Year podcast to grab our merch for 2025. Guys, always remember, be good to yourself, be good to your friends. Love you, buddy.